We very much enjoyed our time in Verona. It was time to take a slow train and continue heading eastward to our next destination, Verona.
The train ride was beautiful. We definitely got to see more of the views on the way out, because on the way in we had wonderful conversation time and didn't pay attention as much. And then we arrived back in Milan, changed trains to Verona. Gosh, it's such a beautiful train station.
And like that, we're in Verona at the Piazza Bra, which doesn't mean bra, it means large.
It doesn't mean pizza either.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't mean pizza bar.
We stayed at Hotel Torcolo based on a recommendation from Rick Steve's guidebook. Well, this is our room. It's cozy. Our room wasn't great, but the location was, which is more important to us. We'd rather have a great location than a great room because we don't spend a lot of time in our room. Very typical. No shower from hell. Nice. Hotel Torcolo is located a short walk from the Piazza Bra and is conveniently located for exploring the Città Antica, or historical center. This bronze plaque is the original Roman city plan. Ahead is a devotional column installed in the Middle Ages to bless the market that was held in the piazza at that time.
The lighting was gorgeous that night, and this city just was so beautiful. It had a comfort to it, yet fun and lively. It was very enjoyable walking through the town.
Look at this beautiful big-boned girl. After walking around for several hours, we wandered upon the Osteria del Cavaliere. Cheers.
This risotto that I got had this red sauce that's very common in this region. They had this red sauce for the steak too. It's got this tangy thing to it.
We started our first full day in Verona by grabbing breakfast at our hotel. We prefer to stay at hotels that include breakfast. If you don't do that, then you typically end up eating a European breakfast, which is an espresso and a pastry. That for us is not enough food to fuel us for going out and exploring a city by foot. Our plan for our first full day in Verona was to get a closer look at the Piazza Bra and then follow a guided tour through the historic town center starting at Ponte Pietra. Piazza Bra means big open space in the local dialect and is Verona's community family room. The piazza is lined with restaurants and cafes. The Roman Colosseum was built in the 1st century and is still used for concerts and other events.
They had a very masculine feel to them.
Notice the locals hanging out on the park benches. Towards the center of the piazza is the Fontana delle Alpi, or the Alps Fountain. This fountain was a gift from Munich, Verona's sister city. The fountain contains symbols of the cities of Verona and Munich, separated by the Alps. Construction of the Palazzo della Gran Galleria was commissioned in 1609 by a Venetian doge, but for various reasons was not completed until 1853. Palazzo Baggieri is a neoclassical style palace that serves as the town hall. This is Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of Italy. A typical Italian woman. We left the piazza and made a short walk to the Roman-era Porta dei Bossari. I admired a few bicycles along the way. I have this weird fascination with European bicycles and bike culture. It's rare to find a larger department store in a historic city center, but by some miracle we found one on the way. I pack light, and sometimes I pack so light I have to go to a department store and buy more clothes. In the Roman era, the Porta dei Bossari was the main entrance into the city. The Porta Gate was built in the 1st century AD. Travelers entering and leaving the city had to pay taxes here. The Porta was a fortress featuring lookout towers and interior courtyard and was usually guarded by soldiers. Once you pass through the gates, enter the historic Cafe Rialto coffee house and look through the glass panel on the floor to see ancient Roman ruins. We continued on the Corso Porta Bossari, entering deeper into the historic center. I said hi to a couple of the locals, but they didn't seem too interested in me. They were probably tired of tourists. We came to the Torre del Gordello, and it reminded me of the Eye of Mordor. We eventually arrived at the Piazza Erbe and decided to explore it. The piazza is a market square dating back to Roman times and was the center of the ancient Roman city plan for Verona. The Venetian lion is a reminder that Venice once ruled here. This fountain has bubbled for 2,000 years. The woman in the fountain is holding a banner that reads, "The city of Verona deserves respect and justice." In medieval times, this stone canopy held scales used to measure the weight of bought and sold goods such as silk and wool. Unscrupulous merchants using inaccurate scales ended up in these shackles. This is a statue of the poet Berto Barberani. He is considered one of the most articulate voices of the aspirations and sufferings of the people of Verona. The piazza is still used as a marketplace today.
One of the things we love to do when we travel is find street markets. And I've been searching on the Google and haven't been able to find one, but boom, we walk in here, it's voila, street market, OTA, we're stoked.
Street markets are a great place to pick up articles of clothing, sample street food, and purchase local produce.
I enjoyed being down in this little market area. It has a neighborhood feel to it, even though there's quite a few tourists there. I had to get a little purse, a little swing purse. My purse I had was too small. My backpack was too big, so I was trying to find something that I could throw my battery pack and my water bottle in and be fine.
I asked this gentleman what the laurel wreath signifies. He told me that when a student graduates from university, the student receives a laurel wreath to wear for the rest of the day. A short walk from Piazza Erbe is a courtyard allegedly containing Juliet's balcony.
This was so busy, but I was so excited to get a good picture without anybody with their hands on Juliet. And I'm a big Pokemon player, so I had to circle around to this spot about 4 times to get this spin stop to get a gift to send to my girlfriends back home. My Juliet girlfriends that were wanting that.
We left Juliet's courtyard and headed back to Piazza Erbe to continue our historic town center walk. We found the whalebone marking the entrance to the Piazza del Signore, or Lord Square. No one really knows why this whalebone hangs here. Locals call the square the Piazza Dante for the statue of Dante Alighieri that dominates it. The Pope expelled Dante from Florence, and he was granted asylum by Verona's leading family, the Scaligieris, who were at odds with the Pope. Off of the Piazza dei Signori is a Palazzo della Ragione. This staircase is the only surviving Renaissance staircase in Verona.
As we're heading up these stairs, I just am mesmerized by the stripes on these buildings, like the red and the cream. It was just so mesmerizing to stand at the top and see this. Like, who comes up with these ideas? And the arches in the windows as well. The arches everywhere.
We continued our walk and passed the 14th century Gothic Scaligeri family tombs. The Church of Sant' Anastasia was built in the 13th century through the 15th century. The facade was never finished. Here's a car from back in the day when cars were still made with style. We made it to the Adage River and took in the view. The Ponte Pietra was built by Romans, bombed during World War II, and rebuilt after that. Across the river is a Roman theater and the Castello San Pietro on top of the hill.
Don't mind me, I'm just playing Pokemon as we're walking through Italy.
We walked out on the Ponte Pietra to get the views from there. We turned back towards the historic center and met a Shih Tzu almost as cute as ours.
Oh, sweet one. So cute.
Our next stop was Verona's Duomo. Tori went in and I stayed outside and people watched. By now we were hungry. We passed on this place because it looked like service was slow.
Oh my gosh. So our guy at the hotel recommended this restaurant.
we're getting better. It's taken 4 trips to Europe to finally like actually go to lunch when the restaurant's open. Normally we get there at 3, they're closed, chef's at home taking a nap. But man, we've been hitting it every day. Yay, us.
This restaurant was so nice. I love about Europe that you are not rushed out of your seat. You actually get to sit and enjoy the whole meal without worrying about the waitress having to turn the table for a tip. We will often get all the courses and split them between us because then we can get our salad, our pasta, and our meat, which is nice because then we're not completely full, and then we can have dessert together as well. Oh, those are pistachios on the salad. Let me just say it was so good.
Mouth orgasm. I'm a huge gnocchi fan, so whenever it's on the menu, I've got to try it, and it was superb.
The same when it comes to lamb. I'm a huge lamb fan.
Italy is a bargain. We just added up what we thought it would cost in the U.S. We had 2 each of sparkling wines. We had an arugula salad. We had gnocchi, and we had lamb ribs. With a 20% tip, we figured that would have been a $135 meal. It was 89 euros, and usually you just leave some change. We left him 5 euros because his pours on the Prosecco were very generous. So, good deal, bro. That was my favorite meal of the trip. What about for you, baby?
Definitely one of my favorites, especially that fennel salad. It was just phenomenal. Gnocchi was so tender, and the lamb. I mean, I'm a sucker for lamb.
It was a beautiful dining experience.
So not gamey in any way, shape, or form.
I thought every meal would be like that.
Yeah.
That's what my expectation was. It hasn't been. We've had some disappointing meals. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
We are not afraid to drink fountain water in Europe unless there's a non-potable sign, typically in the native language. This water comes from the Alps and is delicious.
It's lovely drinking water in Europe, just out of the fountain like this. It doesn't have that chlorine flavor that we have here in the States. We're a sucker for Frenchies because our daughter has one. Not that we would ever get a Frenchie, but when we see them, we always try to record for her. This plaza is so huge, so much space.
But it's also quaint because there's this park in the middle of it, so it kind of breaks it up, and you sit in a restaurant and you see everyone walk by in the town. These are becoming a daily ritual. We're definitely focused more on the cafe life than we are on museums and cathedrals.
Although I did go into the Duomo that's here, and it was absolutely beautiful. Usually, well, they're all different. This time, the outside was very minimal. The inside was insane, spectacular.
Yeah. I didn't go in.
Yeah, I like to go in and feel the churches.
Yeah, I like to not feel my feet.
When we first checked into our hotel, we asked the gentleman at the front desk for restaurant recommendations. He did not mention the hotel's restaurant, but we looked it up and it had really high ratings, so we made reservations.
Are these plates not absolutely stunning? Our server recommended our wine. We were still full from lunch, but we love food, so of course we had some.
If you just boil it down to a few simple words, everything was spectacular. The patio dining room, the wine, the food, the sauces. It was a fantastic dining experience, and we would recommend this restaurant easily.
We finished our dinner with some digestives and regional desserts. It was a perfect ending to a perfect day. See you on our next video as we continue traveling east across northern Italy.